A woman gave a free haircut to a veteran and was fired by her boss. 30 minutes later, the mayor showed up. Emily loved her job. Each haircut, each conversation felt like an opportunity to make someone smile, to lighten the load they carried, if only for a moment. Emily, 28, with her brown hair in a bun, bright eyes, and a constant smile, believed her work allowed her to reach people far beyond just their appearance. She'd always felt other people's pain, almost as if it were her own. Perhaps that's why, as she looked out the window that afternoon, her gaze fixed on a man sheltering from the rain under the awning of the building across the street. The man looked like he had been through hard times. His hair was long and messy, his beard unkempt, and his clothes, worn and soaked, showed his struggle for survival on the streets. Beside him, a rain-stained cardboard sign read, "War veteran, hungry and without hope." The man's distant, absent expression moved Emily deeply, as though he were silently crying for help. The salon was quiet, with only a few co-workers busy with clients. Emily approached the door, watching the man with empathy, and before she realized it, stepped outside to invite him in. She smiled gently, extending her hand in a silent invitation. The man hesitated for a moment, but Emily's kind eyes convinced him to come in. She sat him down in one of the salon chairs and introduced herself. "Hi, my name is Emily, and you are?" she asked with a warmth that felt like balm to him. "I'm Jack," he answered, his voice rough and his gaze cautious. "Jack Henderson." As Emily gathered her supplies, Jack shared pieces of his story. He had fought in the Gulf War, and when he came home, his life fell apart. His wife left him, and soon after he lost contact with his only daughter. Caught between trauma and loneliness, Jack found himself helpless, eventually ending up on the streets. Emily listened intently, her heart heavy with the pain he carried. As the haircut progressed, Jack began to relax and open up more. Emily used every moment to offer words of encouragement. She knew the haircut was just one small part of his transformation, but that this act of humanity might be what he needed most right now. While Emily cut Jack's hair, the other staff and clients watched in silence, some visibly moved by the scene. However, what Emily saw as an act of kindness was viewed very differently by the salon's owner, Mr. Johnson, a man known for being strict and inflexible with company policies. Mr. Johnson, a middle-aged man with impeccably combed grey hair and formal attire, entered the salon just then, carrying an air of authority that silenced the room. He noticed Jack in the chair, frowned with displeasure, and addressed Emily in a stern voice that cut through the calm atmosphere. "Emily, what's going on here?" he asked. Eyeing Jack disapprovingly from head to toe, she tried to explain gently. "This is Jack, a veteran going through a hard time. He needed help, and I just wanted to do something good for him." But Mr. Johnson was more concerned with profit than with any act of charity. "This salon isn't a charity, Emily. Here, every service has a price, and we don't make exceptions. I've told you many times that we need to follow the rules." Emily felt her face flush, but stayed calm. "I understand, Mr. Johnson, but sometimes a small kindness can change someone's life. Jack couldn't pay, but I felt it was the right thing to do." Mr. Johnson didn't want to hear it. Instead, he raised his voice, his scolding silencing everyone in the salon who watched the uncomfortable scene. "If you think you can do whatever you want here, you're very mistaken, Emily. If you want to work for free, this salon isn't the place for you. You're fired and you can leave right now." A tense silence fell over the salon. Emily looked around, feeling the weight of humiliation and injustice. She fought back tears, not wanting to give Mr. Johnson the satisfaction of seeing her break down. With a final glance at Jack, who watched the scene with even greater sadness, Emily took a deep breath and walked over to him, trying to mask the pain in her face. "Jack, none of this is your fault," she said with a sad but genuine smile. "Take care, all right? And remember, you matter and deserve a chance to start over." He looked at her with gratitude and, in a broken voice, replied, "Thank you, Emily. You're an incredible person. I hope everything works out for you." She gave a slight nod, picked up her things and left the building without looking back. Once outside, the Seattle sky looked even cloudier, mirroring the whirlwind of emotions in her heart. She sat down on a bench in the nearby park, trying to absorb everything that had happened. "Did I do the right thing?" she wondered, watching people hurrying along the sidewalk. But something extraordinary was about to happen. While Emily was still lost in her thoughts, a black car pulled up in front of the salon. The driver quickly stepped out and opened the door for a figure known to everyone in the city, the mayor of Seattle himself, Mr. Thompson. He was accompanied by his team and looked purposeful and urgent. Just minutes earlier, Jack had run into the mayor by chance while he was visiting a charity nearby. With the courage his fresh haircut seemed to give him, Jack approached, asked for a moment of the mayor's time and shared what Emily had done for him, including how Mr. Johnson had cruelly fired her. Hearing the story, the mayor was visibly moved. A haircut might be trivial to many, but for Jack it represented dignity and respect, something he hadn't felt in a long time. Known for his appreciation of kindness, Mr. Thompson didn't hesitate to go to the salon to address the matter in person. The atmosphere in the salon became tense as the mayor entered, his determined and imposing presence leaving everyone uneasy. The employees stopped what they were doing, and the clients looked around, curious about what was happening. Mr. Johnson, who had maintained an arrogant posture up until then, went pale seeing the mayor's sudden entrance. "Good afternoon, I'm Mayor Thompson," he announced, addressing Mr. Johnson in a firm tone. "I've been informed of a rather concerning situation here. Where is the employee named Emily?" Mr. Johnson, flustered, tried to justify himself. "Well, Mr. Mayor, there was a misunderstanding. This employee decided to serve a customer without any payment. That goes against our policies, so I had to be firm." The mayor cut him off. "Misunderstanding?" He raised an eyebrow as if he found the explanation absurd. "What this employee did was show an example of compassion we should all value. Instead, you fired her in public and humiliated her for helping a war veteran. Do you know how many citizens in this city have endured sacrifices like Jack's?" Mr. Johnson was speechless, caught between anger and fear about what this could mean for his reputation. He hadn't expected such a direct intervention and had no idea how to respond to the mayor. Just then, Emily, who was still seated in the park, noticed the commotion and the mayor's car outside the salon. Still stunned by everything that had happened, she slowly stood up and walked back to the salon, uncertain of what to expect. When she entered, she saw Mr. Thompson staring at Mr. Johnson with a serious expression, and everyone else was silent. As soon as he saw her, the mayor smiled warmly and approached her. "You must be Emily," he said, extending his hand. "It's a pleasure to meet you. I heard about what you did for Jack. He told me you treated him with the dignity and respect he deserves." Emily shook the mayor's hand, still surprised and touched by his presence. "Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to help. Jack is someone who has lost so much and deserved a little compassion." Thompson nodded, impressed. "That kind of attitude is rare, Emily. And to be honest, we need people like you in our city. As mayor, I cannot allow someone to be punished for showing humanity and kindness." He turned to Mr. Johnson and declared, "I'm demanding that Emily be rehired immediately, and I will make sure this case is made public so everyone knows the kind of character you're trying to punish. Seattle needs to value those who act with heart." Mr. Johnson's face went pale and reluctantly he agreed. "Of course, Mr. Mayor. Emily, if you want, you can come back to work." However, to everyone's surprise, Emily held her head high and declined the offer. "Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and to you as well, Mr. Johnson, but I believe I can contribute more in a place where empathy and solidarity are respected. I won't be returning." Mr. Thompson smiled, impressed by Emily's courage. He then stepped forward and said, "I understand and admire your decision. In that case, Emily, I'd like to offer my help. The city has a grant program for new businesses, especially those that contribute to the community. How about we open a new salon where you can continue helping those in need?" Emily's eyes lit up at the unexpected possibility. She looked at the mayor, incredulous, but his smile was genuine and his tone showed that his offer was real. Emily was speechless, absorbing the mayor's generous proposal. It was something she had never imagined, the chance to have her own salon and make every appointment a moment of empathy and true care, something she'd always dreamed of. "Mr. Mayor, this feels like a dream. I'm deeply grateful for this opportunity. If I can really open a salon where people are seen for who they are without judgment, then I wholeheartedly accept." The mayor smiled, pleased. "Wonderful, Emily. You deserve this chance. Let's get the process started so your salon can be up and running as soon as possible. I'll take care of the details with my team, and you'll have the support you need to get started." Emily, emotional, thanked the mayor again and bid farewell to her former colleagues with hugs and words of gratitude. Many, inspired by her courage, congratulated her, hoping everything would go well in her new journey. In the days that followed, news of the incident and the mayor's offer spread quickly through the town. Emily and Jack's story made it to the local newspapers and social media, touching the hearts of many residents. People were outraged by Mr. Johnson's behavior, and soon he began losing clients and employees. Meanwhile, Emily received an outpouring of support. Seattle locals offered to help, whether with donations, equipment, or even their services to set up the new salon. Finally, a few weeks later, the new salon was inaugurated. Emily chose a simple yet meaningful name: Hope. The space was small but charming, with light-colored walls and wood accents, large mirrors that gave the room an open feel, comfortable chairs, and a cozy corner with coffee and tea for clients. Right at the entrance, a sign read, "Here, everyone is welcome." And she truly lived by that philosophy. Once a week, Emily offered free haircuts to people in vulnerable situations. It was a special day at the salon, filled with conversations, laughter, and even a few impromptu celebrations. Emily made it a point to welcome each person with a smile and words of encouragement, and many left not only with a new look, but with a renewed sense of dignity and self-worth. Jack, the veteran who had been the initial spark for all these changes, had become one of Emily's close friends. He insisted on helping however he could. He kept the place clean, organized the lines on free service days, and chatted with clients as they waited, sharing his own stories of resilience and listening to theirs. Gradually, he found hope and purpose himself, finally feeling part of a community that valued him. In no time, the Salon of Hope became a symbol of empathy in Seattle. People from all over the city came to support Emily and her work, bringing friends and family, or simply stopping by to contribute small donations so that the free services could continue. The salon's success wasn't just in the haircuts, but in the environment of respect, warmth, and humanity that Emily had created. The old salon where she used to work couldn't withstand the competition and eventually closed. With its reputation tainted by Mr. Johnson's actions, customers preferred a place where they knew they would be treated with respect, not just as clients, but as human beings. One evening, as Emily closed the salon at sunset, Jack approached her, watching the sky over Seattle turn shades of orange and pink. "You know, Emily," he said with a shy smile, "you've given me something I didn't even know I could still have, a reason to live." Emily looked at him, touched, and replied, "Jack, you've given me so much too. Every person who comes here reminds me that what we're doing is important. I couldn't be more grateful." And together, in that moment, they felt that it had all been worth it. Over time, the Salon of Hope became more than just a place for haircuts. It was a true refuge for anyone needing a moment of peace, a friendly ear, or simply a place to feel welcomed. Emily had never imagined her dream could impact so many lives and touch the hearts of people from all across the city. Jack rebuilt his self-esteem and, with the support of a group he found through Emily, managed to reunite with his daughter, gradually rekindling the bond that had been lost for so long. Mayor Thompson, keeping his promise, continued to support Emily's project with municipal incentives. He saw the Hope Salon as an example of how small acts of kindness could change lives and strengthen the community. Through partnerships with the city, Emily was able to extend her service hours, and little by little she hired others who shared her ideals of empathy and respect. A year after the Hope Salon's opening, Emily and Jack organized a celebration to mark the salon's first anniversary. The event brought together clients, friends, volunteers, homeless individuals who had benefited from the salon, and even local officials. Amid hugs, laughter, and tears of gratitude, Emily gave a brief speech. "When I decided to cut Jack's hair that day, I just wanted to show him that he mattered, that he deserved to be treated with respect. But today I realize that all of you have taught me so much more. You've shown me that with a little compassion and a second chance, we can all be part of something greater, something that brings hope. This salon belongs to each of you. Thank you for allowing me to live this dream." As applause filled the salon, Emily looked at Jack, who stood beside her, emotional and smiling. They exchanged a knowing look, an expression of gratitude that needed no words. They knew that together, they had created not just a beauty space, but a new way of seeing the world. The story of Emily and Jack inspired other salons in the city, which began offering free haircuts and treatments to people in vulnerable situations, forming a network of support and solidarity. Seattle was never the same after that small act of kindness Emily had dared to make. And so Emily and Jack continued side by side, changing lives, offering a cup of tea, a smile, a word of support, and of course a haircut. Small gestures that meant the world to many. If you also believe that small acts of kindness can change lives, leave your comment below. What did you think of Emily's actions? Have you ever witnessed or experienced a story like this? I'd love to read your thoughts. And don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss any of our moving stories. Plus, there's another incredible story waiting for you. Click on the video appearing on your screen now and stay with us. See you next time.